Oh my gosh, you guys.
All right. I think we're ready to roll.
Okay, let's do this. Miss Meredith has the technology. Yay.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so we just wanted to take some time to talk to you today about the student support services that are available to you even when you are in your own home and we are not all on campus. I am Jessica Probst. You can call me Miss Jessica, like most people do. And I am the Restorative Justice Coordinator here at GLOW. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what restorative justice is, what that means at GLOW, and how we can all kind of still work on that together at home. Restorative justice is really just making something better once it's gone wrong. So if you've done something to harm somebody else, making it better instead of just getting detention or being suspended. Or if something has happened to you where you've been harmed, where you can have that made better for yourself. You can have a say in what you need to make it better for you. And restorative practices are really just strategies to help you get along in the classroom. There's skills that you can take with you to college, your workplace, you can use them in your family, but they're especially important to use at school. Restorative practices build community, and like I said, they can help set things right when the community is challenged by harmful behaviors. That community can be your classroom, whether that's online or in person. It can be your grade level. It can be your the school. It can be our community as in Wilmington. It could be your family. There's lots of different ways that we can talk about community and working through restorative practices. When we come together for restorative interactions, especially when we're in person, we come together in circles to talk that out. So at school at GLOW last year, we would come together in circles and we would use a talking piece. So whoever had the talking piece would be in charge of speaking and everyone else was being a listener at that time. And we would physically sit next to each other so that we could see everyone. So we're really focusing on restorative circles this year, but with the fun twist of bringing them to our online classrooms. So what that means for you is that your teachers are going to be working with you to help establish circle guidelines, and we'll talk a little bit about those in a bit. And what that means for online circles, right? So you won't be able to have a physical talking piece that you could pass to the person next to you, but you will learn some skills for virtual turn taking and kind of simulating a circle online so that you can be respectful of whoever's listening and do the same kinds of things that you would in a circle, but do it together even as we're separate. There are two main kinds of circles that we use. The first one is building community. So you're going to talk some more about these in your leadership advisory, and I'll pop in to support you with that and support your teachers with that. But building community just means that you are establishing trust with one another. You are talking about what makes you you, the things you like, the things that make you unique, and getting to know those same things about other people. So you can build a community where you feel safe sharing and other people feel safe sharing, and you know that this is a place where we can talk about things that are important. The second kind of circle that we use is responding to harms. So if some friends were in an argument and, you know, they just decided, we just don't even want to talk to each other, we don't want to be friends. Instead of doing that, instead of harming a relationship, they would come together to talk about it. And we have some specific questions that we use when we're responding to harms. And that could be a group of students. It could be two students. It could be a student and a teacher, because sometimes that happens, right? You have some misunderstandings that you need to work out. It could be with a student and a friend who's in a different grade level, or it could be a group of students. It could be a whole classroom. We've had entire grade level circles to talk things out when something's gone wrong. So it's a great way to respond to something that's gone wrong in a positive way so that you can move forward. Miss Meredith, would you go to the next slide? Thank you. So when we're talking about restorative circles, even online, but especially in person, there are some guidelines that your teachers will be talking to you about, and they might choose some of these or talk to you about some of these or add their own, or you might as a class decide that you want to have some additional ones. But some general guidelines that we have when we have a circle are that you speak from the heart. You share your own thoughts and ideas and experiences instead of saying, well, so-and-so said that you said, because that's just hearsay. You want to say how you feel, what you heard, what you've experienced. And then listening from the heart, listening to your peers and really hearing what they're saying instead of kind of telling yourself some stories that you might know or think about them, you know, like, oh, she's always saying this, or, you know, she's never listening, or whatever it is. Just kind of putting those things aside and really focusing in so that you can actually hear what's being said. Being spontaneous so that you're not like listening and rehearsing everything you're going to say when the person next to you is going, which can be really difficult. You know, especially when you're online and you're not actually right next to that person. But just trusting that when it's your turn, you're going to be able to say what it is that you need to say, and then say just enough. Not dominate the whole circle in conversation with your story, but saying what you need to say and then letting the next person speak. Speaking into the circle, which is actually a little trickier in person, right? So if we're all in a circle, sometimes it's harder because you kind of get in a back and forth conversation with one person, or when you respond to a question, you look at the speaker and you just talk to them instead of speaking into the whole circle. And being online, I keep saying this every day, that's just like being a YouTube influencer. You're just like talking to your screen. You're by yourself in the house or in your room and you're just talking to a screen. You can see other people sometimes, but like right now, I can't even see any of you. It's like just talking to myself. So it's way easier to speak into the circle because the circle is my computer screen. And so much easier to talk to everybody at once. And then listening without reaction or judgment. Y'all, high schoolers, this is going to be our number one goal for this year. This is goal, like the golden rule goal for circles this year, is to listen without reaction or judgment. So no rolling your eyes, no laughing, no, you know, any of that. That's a little harder to do on screen because you don't have somebody sitting physically next to you that you can whisper to or look at or giggle with. But still extremely important online to be really focusing on that, to be listening and not having any sort of big reaction or especially judgment about that, because we're creating a safe space for each other to share. And if somebody is judging someone for something that they've said, that person's not going to want to share again, and they're not going to feel like it's a safe space. So you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. Don't do it to somebody else. And then finally, extremely important, especially when you are online, to respect confidentiality. What happens in the circle stays in the circle. Okay, what happens in your online leadership advisory stays there. You're not going to be on the side sending DMs to somebody or posting something to Insta about what somebody said in your circle that day. You're not going to be having side conversations with somebody about what's happening in the circle. You're respecting the confidentiality and the dignity of that person who's sharing, and it stays there. You would not want your business put everywhere. Please don't do that to somebody else. So if you are, this is how we're basically going to do the circles. Additionally, you can go ahead, Meredith, go to the next one. Additionally, if you are having a conflict or an issue with another student, with a teacher, with a friend, whether it's during school or it's in your personal time, you are welcome to come to me just like you would have last year and see if we can help work that out. We can have our own little circle online. We can have a conversation to try and fix what's going on. If you are being bullied or you're bullying somebody else, that's a whole other story. We're not putting you together and to have that conversation. You're going to deal with Mr. Kirby, you're going to deal with Miss Hunter or Miss Garza if that's the situation. But if you're having a conflict where you've just had an argument or somebody said something that rubbed you the wrong way and you know, you want to work that out, then I want to make sure that you have my contact information to kind of set something up to talk that out. So you can always email me. My email comes to my phone, so I should see it right away. It's just jprobst@glowacademy.net. You can also set up a Google Meet like this so we can kind of have a conversation face to face or chat me that way. And you can also reach me at my Google Voice cell. You can write it down now, but I'll also make sure that I'm going to send this out to everybody at the end of the week. So you can text me there and you can also call me. Again, like Miss Hunter and Mr. Kirby were saying, not, you know, at 11 o'clock at night, I will not answer you then. But if you contact me during the school day, I will make sure that I get back to you that same day. I want to see if you guys have any questions before I go ahead and let Miss Meredith talk to you about student support services. Is there any questions that you have about restorative practices, restorative justice, what circle is going to look like? How I had to be so awesome. Okay. All right. So feel free to get in touch with me, and I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Meredith, who's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the other services that we have available for you guys.
Awesome. Yes. And if you guys look in your binder, there's a little blue sheet that says Mental Health Matters. I did put Miss Jessica's name and email address. I didn't have your Google number at that point. So if after this presentation, you're like, I forgot what that lady's email was, you can go and find it there. My name is Meredith Staley. I'm the school social worker here at Glow Academy. This will be my 3rd year here. I was telling folks yesterday, I was trying to rebrand myself and go by Miss Staley because people confuse me with being a kid sometimes. But I've got resounding feedback that I have to stick with Miss Meredith. So if you see it on the blue sheet, it says Miss Staley. That was just me trying to feel more adult-like and official. So I'm going to talk to you guys today a little bit about some supports that we still have as we're in this weird, wacky school year that we have this year. So one part of my role that happened in person will also stay, happening virtually. So part of my role is supporting students with their mental health, with any kind of social, emotional needs that they might have, and also connecting families to resources. So maybe if you feel like you guys could use a little bit more food in your house, or maybe housing's kind of up in the air, please have your family reach out to me, and I will absolutely connect them with a wealth of resources that we have here in the community. So some needs that we have always are to feel like we're part of a community and connected to a community. And even, when we're in the normal routine of coming to school, it can feel monotonous and like you're tired of being here. But I don't know if it's the same feeling for you guys, but I've definitely felt over the last couple months a sense of disconnection, and like I miss seeing your faces and I miss seeing my coworkers. So I've definitely seen a little twinkle in some of your eyes getting to see and reconnect with some of your folks today who are here on campus. Other needs that we have are just to feel like we belong, and we need relationships. So something that we are going to roll out this year is a lot of virtual groups. I actually have 10 so far. I'm so on board with building more because we have 7 lovely interns from UNCW here to support our student support services. So some of you guys met Miss Chloe last year, like Miss Chloe times 7. So we got a lot of hands on deck and folks who would love to support you because we know COVID has really flipped our lives upside down, and we've been, to keep ourselves and other people safe, we've had to stay home and isolated, and it's normal to feel lonely or like maybe you're the only one going through it. But I promise, kids, adults, like we're all going through it right now. So if you are interested in a group and I haven't already reached out to you personally, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to plug you into a group. I've given this presentation every day this week, and I've had lots of kids reaching out saying like, hey, yeah, like I would like to do that. It'll just be where we can meet and not like a massive space of like 30, 40 people, but usually 10 or under people in the groups. So keep that on your radar. Also, we all have emotional needs. This kind of ties into the social needs. So we need to feel supported and we need to feel seen and heard. So ways that we can do that is a lot of times last year I had kids in my office when they were just having a lousy day. Maybe they just needed to collect themselves, take a breather. I'm still here for that. So I'll give you all my contact info and ways that we can check in, but we could do, virtual check-ins, we could do phone check-ins, text check-ins, whatever work for you guys. Like I said, I have 7 interns that desperately need interaction with students. They really want to work on some of the skills that they're learning in their graduate program and undergrad program, and they'd love to connect with you guys. So that is out there to support you, okay? Here is my contact info. Like I said, Miss Staley, Miss Meredith, however you want to brand me. I would not call my office phone, I'm not there very often, but my Google Voice cell, I'm still figuring out how to use it, but I'm getting the hang of it. That is calls and texts. Like Miss Jessica said, please don't text me after 4 p.m. is usually when I'm trying to start to unplug. I'm in bed by 10 o'clock every night, so please don't text me after that. We do have the social work interns here to connect with you. And if you feel like you're in need of, maybe you've kind of found yourself in a funk that has just been really hard to get out of, and you feel like you need a little bit more support than we're able to provide on the school level, we do still have a contract with Coastal Horizons. So Laura O'Connor is our therapist through Coastal. She's really awesome. She has a whole caseload of girls that she sees from GLOW. Heard really good feedback that girls have really enjoyed working with her and have got a lot of good stuff out of it. So if that's something you feel like you need a little bit more consistent check-ins, absolutely, that is at your fingertips. All right, so I want to talk for a second about some crisis resources, because we know that sometimes things pop up and things get tough late at night or outside of those normal kind of business hours. So I want to run through sorry, I got some paper notes here. I'm getting behind. Some crisis resources. So the first one we have is the crisis text line. It is available 24/7. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, any of those kind of heavy, gunky feelings, feel free to text this number that's on the screen. This is also, all of this info is on your mental health matters sheet in your binders. It's blue. So this is a really great option if you're like freaked out by talking on the phone. I get it. I don't like talking on the phone either that much. So this is a great way to text somebody who's trained to be able to support folks who are in that crisis mode. We also have the Suicide Prevention Lifeline listed here. Again, this is available 24/7. Middle of the night, 3 a.m. while I'm snoozing and sawing logs, these folks are here trained to support you if you're feeling like you're in distress. We know that sometimes when people get isolated and get feeling really lonely or hopeless, sometimes the thought of suicide or ending their life kind of creeps into their mind. And this is a great resource and folks that you can talk to for support. Also, if you know of a friend or maybe a loved one who is having those thoughts, this is also a great resource to just say, hey, my friend's in a really bad place. I really want to be able to support them. Can you walk me through like what to say? So those are there for you. Last one I want to talk about is the Say Something Anonymous reporting system. So this is a system that if you're a returning GLOW girl, you should know, you should be well versed in this because we rolled it out in your leadership advisory class last year. It is an anonymous reporting system that allows you to submit tips, totally secure, totally confidential. You do not have to give your name. But it's a way to really look after your community here at GLOW. So if you are scrolling through social media and you see something like somebody posted, because sometimes people reach out for help on social media. Now my computer's trying to shut down. Okay, we're good. Now where was I? We were talking about Say Something. So if you're scrolling through social media and maybe you see something that raises a red flag for you, that makes you feel like somebody might be in danger of harming themselves or posting threatening content, or like Miss Jessica said, like the bullying. If you see anything like that, if you see somebody being mistreated online, you can take a screenshot of it. You can just report what was happening just through text. So there's 3 different ways. You can download the app. It's really user friendly and awesome. You can call in a tip, or you could report it on a on the saysomething.net. They also connect you with a crisis counselor. They respond very, very quickly. We had a lot of really great experiences with using this system last year. So know that that is at your fingertips. So if you see something that's concerning, if you're experiencing bullying yourself, if you're seeing one of your friends or just a peer act low and you don't want to, come forward and say like, hey, I see this has happened, and you can report it anonymously. So know that that is there for you. That is my spiel on student support, but please know that even though we feel like we're on little islands by ourselves, we are still here for you, and we are working really hard to support you, and we want to be here, and we'll be creative. We are going to come up with ways. I've already got some ideas in my mind of incentivizing folks to come to group, maybe some popsicles show up at your doorstep. I don't know, that could happen. So just think about that, and if you feel like you need some support, reach out, because we're 100% here for you guys. If anybody has any questions, me and Miss Jessica are going to hang out for a bit. I don't know if Miss Hunter's going to jump on today. She's kind of been taking us through the home stretch the past couple days.
If anybody has any questions that they want to hang out and ask after everybody else has left, you are welcome to do that as well. Otherwise, I think you are free to go if you are at home. If you are at school, hang out. You will be dismissed momentarily. But don't forget to join us back here at 4 o'clock for the afternoon announcements with Mrs. Hunter. But otherwise, you got nothing else, you are free to go. It was so nice to see you all today. Nobody wants to leave. Bye, guys.
I'm gonna stop recording.